Good night. Ancient Heart here. Are you still really missing your borderline ex? Maybe, again, all this verbiage, I apologize. Maybe you are in your first or your second or your third ghosting or discarding, and there's been reverse Hoovers and Hoovers. Maybe you're in that limbo place, or it's a revolving door situationship, or it's on and off, on and off, on and off. Because there's more of this going on now than ever before. That people, it's just so on and off. It's so hard for people to break out of that unhealthy bond and take care of themselves. And I think for people with codependency, it also is very difficult to understand really what's happening to you. And you believe in the love that you're giving, but you're not receiving anything back often from the person with BPD. So whatever iteration, situation, place in this sort of cycle, etc., that you are in, limbo, on, off, revolving door, been ghosted, discarded, is it the final discard? All of these painful experiences. And yet so many people, and I know several clients I've worked with over time and you know, recently and way ages ago, people say in sessions, well, like, I really still miss her or miss him or miss him or her. And I really, whether or not they want them back, whether or not they think that's tenable or doable, or they still have that false hope or not, there's this missing and longing. Do you feel like you're missing the person who you were with, or it's maybe not resolved in a breakup exactly yet? Are you missing that person with BPD that you have, or you still do love? Are you still loving them, missing them, and are you longing for that person? And maybe it's been just a matter of days or weeks that they discarded or ghosted you, or you're not sure what happened, and you really still feel, or it could be longer. And for some people, it's been a year or 2 or 3. So are you still missing the person with BPD, longing for them and loving them? What does that really mean exactly? Well, is there something wrong with that? Essentially, maybe not really, but yes, in another way, because if you are missing the person with BPD who's hurt you so badly, and you're longing for them, and that means people really have, whether they have immediate hope of that working out, they still kind of haven't taken it off the table of getting back with an ex, right? So where are you in this circumstance, and what's your experience been like? Please leave a comment below if you'd like to share. I think, so still being in love with them, and many people say, like on the internet and comments here, plus I've heard many of my clients say, I will always love him or her. You'd be surprised that you might have some feeling along the line of that, but not exactly that when you heal and recover. And by the way, I'm out here to work with you. If you resonate with me in the healing and recovery from and surviving the BP relationship breakup or NPD relationship breakup, and all of these Hoovers and reverse Hoovers, and how you feel, and the unhealthy bond, and healing codependency, and how is it that you're so stuck there? Why do you still feel the same? Because is that healthy or isn't it? Depending upon how much time has passed, and also what you know intellectually, many people do, that this can't work. It won't work, but, you know. So I'll just say one thing before I go into this a little bit further. So if you're still longing for the ex, missing the ex, and really loving the ex, and it's been like, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, etc., that's not really a healthy place for you to be in. It's painful, but it's not as healthy as people might think, or as, quote, sort of normal. I don't like that word, but normative or whatever. No, because the thing is, it's one big thing that's at the center of this is the, Toby, quiet, we can only hope, is the sunk cost fallacy, right? So I've already talked about the borderline red herring fallacy and how people with codependency have some of that going on too. And now it's a sunk cost fallacy. Well, you put in this much time. You've maybe put in a lot financially to the relationship. And you may have married this person, right? You could have a family. There can be all these, I don't mean to make family and marriage sound like complications, but all these things that are much more difficult and much more loss involved. So the sunk cost fallacy for many people with codependency is, but I've already loved this person so much, and I still do, and I'm missing them, and I'm longing for them. I have the world to give them. Maybe if I just do something differently, it would work. Maybe if I just don't say this, do say that, maybe I can put up with, getting so hurt or being so one-sided. I just want that person in my life. I just need them in my life, or want them, need and want. The sunk cost fallacy isn't just about how much money you may have spent. Like, I've worked with clients where, accommodations and condominiums and houses have been bought, paid for, all kinds of money invested in a person that they, that clients I've worked with and others that you might relate to out there. You've been with somebody with BPD and you're just doing everything you can to please them, no matter how, financially expensive that is. But the sunk cost fallacy has to do with that. It has to do with your emotional investment. It has to do with why you're stuck and so emotionally invested beyond where even a lot of my clients will say, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck, right? Well, the sunk cost fallacy is everything you've already put into this relationship. And that your feelings right now are, you're missing them, you still love them, and you're longing for them. So these are really compelling feelings that people have. But so the sunk cost fallacy is a big part of people going, well, I've got so much time, energy, effort, money, etc., my emotions, everything, or this is the mother of my children. I've got so much invested here. How could I just, end it? Or what if she's ending it and you just can't get her back. You don't know what's going on, but you're not moving forward and you're stuck. Anybody who still anybody who is still in the position, in the feelings, in the torture of, I really still miss my ex. I really love them still, and I'm longing for them. Well, first of all, some people that I work with and clients, they can say that and really be starting to move out of that they're ever going back. But it's still dicey, right? But here's the thing. Who are you still loving? Who are you longing for? And what exactly about them are you missing? And there's where the cognitive dissonance rises also, right? But the thing is, so when I work with clients, and as they get further down the road in recovery from codependency, from the relationship, BPD or NPD relationship breakup, there's so many points of grief in this recovery process. And there's ways that I help clients to, because some clients are more amenable or more capable of coping with grief and all this pain, and how do you get from one place to feeling better, etc., on many levels. So with regard to this specific topic, the thing is, it's you haven't really let go. You haven't radically, you might think you have, but you really haven't. What do you think? Leave a comment if you disagree with me. What do you think? Because I think people in this position, still missing the ex, still loving the ex, really in an active, ongoing way, and longing for them. You haven't radically accepted that this relationship is over. And whether you're hoovering or they're hoovering, you're reverse hoovering or not, you're stuck. And what changes that for people? Well, working in a healing recovery journey, first of all, and if you resonate with me, I could probably help you quite a bit with that. There's so much there in all those feelings that speaks to the healing that you really need to do, multi-layered, multi-level healing, but in particular, the grief work. Firstly, radically accepting the relationship breakup, it's an ending, okay? Because a lot of people aren't there yet. It's so complicated emotionally with, the capital T bond, the unhealthy bond, and what is playing out in how you feel about your cluster B or borderline or narcissist X that is maybe somewhat about them for sure, but is feeling even more painful for you because of the shadows and the echoes from your childhood woundedness and that wounded inner child inside. And what happened to you? Do you have a mother wound? Do you have a father wound? Do you have a mother and father wound? And this is really what is driving your feelings and the inability, the very, very difficult and right now inability for people to radically accept that the BPD or NPD relationship breakup that you need to survive is actually, it needs to reach an end. And that might not change your feelings right away, of course not. But then, in this healing recovery process, you need to be ready to open up to the pain, open up to what you've been avoiding maybe since childhood, open up to why you ended up or got into a relationship with a person with BPD or NPD in the first place, and now why you feel how you feel, and what that really goes back to from your childhood. In one way or another, not the same for everybody, and with codependency being at the heart of so many, the core issues from families of origin and the wounded inner child. So it involves grief. It involves, I guess, radically accepting, first of all, that this is over. And that because you can't deal with feelings till you get there, right? You're going to keep feeling what you're feeling, but how are you going to go from this stuck place of what you're feeling to getting through some of that pain and radically accepting this relationship has ended. It is not going to work out. It is not healthy for you. As many people that I work with, many people comment on my channel, maybe other channels, say clearly they know this, right? So what is so compelling? The codependent repetition compulsions of externalizing out onto the borderline or narcissist X what needs to be healed at the family of origin level with the mother or father wound. And, it could be both. So the thing is, you feel the way you feel right now because you got yourself stuck in an emotional limbo place, maybe with a cognitive dissonance and other things going on, but you're not letting go. And what is the process of letting go like? Well, it involves opening up to your pain, learning how to cope with pain, learning, for some people it involves, a lot of men it involves, and some women it involves learning your emotional landscape. What does that mean? Increasing your emotional intelligence, opening to, as I do lots of talk therapy with clients, but there's more to it than that. But you need to get to the feelings, and for a lot of clients I work with, they need to first learn how to cope with what actually they are feeling and what has happened and what does it all mean, step by step. But the bottom line is, if you still are longing for an ex, you still miss them so much and you still love them so much, when clearly there isn't really a pathway back to them, but maybe you still have a lot of false hope about that, because that's still the way the codependents continue to abandon themselves, and you're increasing your own pain as you're doing that. I want to say that to you gently. And because the more you focus on loving them still, missing them and longing for them, you still don't turn to your actual own pain and focus on yourself. That means working toward radically accepting the relationship is over. Why is that so compellingly difficult? That's part of the healing and recovery journey, because where's it coming from in your past? It's not all about that borderline person or narcissist person, your ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, or husband. It's a lot about them, but it's not all about them. And this is a multi-layered woundedness that's keeping you trapped and stuck in these very intense emotions. So it's learning how to move through those, which I would just advocate people can't do by themselves. People really do need to work with somebody. And like I said, I'm not for everybody, but if I resonate with you, I'm out here to work with you. And so this longing, missing, and still loving the ex means that unintentionally, unconsciously, you're not able to deal with yet or radically accept. Maybe in your mind you have intellectually, but emotionally, how do you go into opening up the healing and recovery journey, which will include accepting it's over and working towards that acceptance, and then the grief that comes with the loss and the multifaceted reality of the losses that happen within the relationship, the lack of closure. How do you get your own closure? So I've seen a lot of comments online in general and on this channel. I'm not sure where, what video, but over the last little while, and not always is brand new, working with clients at whatever time, and whether they're current clients or past clients, I'm not going to say anything about that, wherein this is a central kind of emotional trap for you after all you've been through in a relationship that has just devastated you, and much more than that. So it isn't really healthy for you to still be missing them as much as most people are, even after a long period of time, longing for them and still loving them. Because that still loving them for very many people right now isn't a past tense thing, isn't a used to kind of moving forward from. It's a very active still loving them, which is part of what's wounded you so much and what's got you stuck, because you did love them, you do love them. But when we have breakups, we need to start focusing on ourselves more, and you need to focus on yourself more, and you need to realize that who are you still loving? Who is this person with BPD? Who are they? They're not who you thought they were. You're missing them. Okay, to a point, sure, but after a certain point in time, it's not healthy. You're stuck, and then you're longing for them. That longing piece, amid other pieces of this, that's really the longing in your unconscious of your inner child, to have the reparation and the healing of and I'm speaking to people with codependency, not people with BPD or whatever, of your wounded inner child, of your mother and or father wounds. And that's what the longing feeling really kind of belongs to that more than the ex. But many people emotionally aren't there yet. And so how are you going to let go emotionally? How are you going to work through this emotionally? And some people say they will always love their borderline or narcissist ex. A lot of people are married, to have families. This is an ex-wife. This is a whole lot of ramifications and difficulty and pain for children and family, and not just two people, not to minimize that at all. But the point is, the longing, the still loving, and the missing them, it's keeping you stuck. And so how do you feel about that? Let me know in the comments if you can relate to that. If you're like, but I still do, and I always will, and I'll be waiting, and you want the back. Because all of this is really tied so much more deeply into your family of origin wounds, your mother and father wounds, your wounded inner child from the family of origin, than it is even an ex-wife or an ex-husband that you have children with. So, and in the present tense of, I'm still missing my ex, I long for them, I still love them, that's present tense. That has to be, in the course of healing, put into a different frame, more of past tense. Will some people still have compassion or empathy? Yes, but should it be overboard? No, and where's the line, right? And so if you are still in this emotional place, I hope you can hear that maybe that's something you need to explore, working with someone and getting into your own healing and recovery process and learning to let go. Because one thing that a lot of people with codependency It's a formidable mental health challenge, codependency. And whatever your mother or father wounds are from your family of origin in childhood, or other things that happened as well in your childhood, that your response to the adverse situations, whatever they may be, sometimes they're so subtle and not intentional or with malice by parents. And sometimes they are that you have a cluster B parent or two or whatever the case, but not everybody. So the thing is, you need to come back to yourself. And then you need to look inward in a process of healing recovery, focusing on yourself, which I help clients with all the time, to be able to look at what you're transferring more of onto this person, this ex now, than maybe you realize. Not to say that they don't mean something, because, especially if you had a family with them, right? Or maybe even if you didn't. So, but I hope you can hear what I'm saying, because it's probably not what most people want to hear yet. But so I still love my ex, I'm longing for them, I really miss him or her, is you keeping yourself stuck in an emotional way in the here and now, and you're not being able to move forward. Even if you know intellectually the relationship is over, most people report to me in sessions, this is still an untenable, extremely painful, indescribable way to try to function in your own life. So you need to move from the present tense of something already past now, if you're the ex, and it really is over. How do you make it over for you? And in your emotional landscape, not just your mind. I hope that was helpful or gives you some food for thought.